going on, everyone? Today we are going over all the ore respawn timers and locations where you can find them. An important thing to note with the location of all the materials in the Haga Basin, that with the Coriolis storm that resets the deep desert every week, it doesn't reset the Haga Basin's layout, it only resets the deep desert's layout, but it will re-randomize whereabouts the ores are spawned on the Haga Basin map. Now, it doesn't randomly replace all the ores in different regions of the map. All the ores are still to each region of the Haga Basin, but no ore will be in the exact same spot as before, and you'll have to resurvey the map or drive around and find the ores yourself for them to reappear on your map. An important thing with this is any farm that you make yourself, or like any farm run that you make or you watch on YouTube or whatever, it will be different every time unless it's the same week of, and or I think it's based per server. A very useful key feature that Dune Awakening does is that when you survey and discover all of the Haga Basin, you can actually hover over each region and it will give you little icon symbols of exactly what ores are in the region and how much density of them are in the region. You can click L on your map or click the legend button in the bottom left and you can actually see what symbol means what. So let's start with all the low tier materials. Now, all the low tier or starting tier materials can pretty much be found anywhere in the Haga Basin map and most of everywhere in the deep desert. And these materials are the granite stone, fuel cells, salvage metal, and copper ore. Now the respawn times in order from the quickest to the longest in these tier materials. Granite is a minute 30 respawn. The fuel cells are a 2-minute respawn, and then the salvage metal and the copper ore are both a 2-minute 30 respawn. Now for all the mid-tier materials, we have iron, basalt, carbon, and erythrite crystals. Now iron ore is located in the east and west Vermilius gaps and has a 5-minute respawn timer. Now basalt stone is located in the eastern and the western shield walls, the Udum and the Mesa Terrell, which is mainly all in the northern sections near the mountains. Basalt has a respawn timer of about 9 minutes. Now carbon ore is located in the Haga Rift and all the Jabals, which is the Jabal al Janub, the Jabal al Shark, and the Jabal al Gab. And these have quite a long respawn timer of about 15 minutes. Now the last mid-tier material is the erythrite crystals, and these can be found in the Haga Rift, specifically the bottom of the canyon. The easiest way to get here is all vehicles don't take fall damage, so you can literally just drive off and drop straight into the canyon. These are also one of the higher respawn timers in the game, and that is 15 minutes and 30 seconds. Now onto the high tier materials in the game, which I'll class as aluminium, jasmium crystals, titanium, and stravium mass. Now the majority of aluminium can be found in the east and the western shield walls, and also at the top right, the Jabal al-Shark, mainly on all the high level mountainous parts. You can find it in the Jabal al-Janub, and you can find some of it also in Udum and the al-Gab, but predominantly it is in the eastern West Shield and the Jabal al-Shark, which will be the best places to farm for it. Aluminium ore has a respawn timer of about 12 minutes. Now, jasmine crystals can only be found in the bottom left of the map in the shoal, all in the radioactive zones of the map. Now, the jasmine crystals have also a very long respawn timer of 15 minutes. Now, for both the titanium ore and the stravium mass, I'm not actually able to give you an exact location in the Haga Basin because they do not exist in the Haga Basin. These ores can only be found in the deep desert, and depending on how deep into the deep desert you actually go, depends on how many of these materials you actually find. This means that the further you go, especially into the actual PvP zones of the map, you will find way more of these materials than you will find in any of the PvE areas. That being said, and also with the highest respawn time in the game, both of these ores will take 45 minutes to actually respawn in the locations they're in. So I would not recommend waiting around the island for these to respawn unless you want to waste almost an hour waiting there for the ores to respawn. And there you have it. That's pretty much it. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and stay tuned for more.